Hi everyone, as most of you know, I started the Food in Resin series about 5 years ago. It all started with a slice of apple, and since then I've done the strawberry, the grape, the M&Ms, the banana, and of course the egg. Who could forget the egg? Man, I wish I could. I'm good. Now in this week's episode, I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to try an orange. Now the reason it's going to be different is that you guys requested that I take a bite before we put it in resin. That way we could see if something will grow. So I went down to Woolies. I got myself an orange. So let's get started. So I've got to be honest, I'm not too sure how well this is going to work. This orange is going to be full of juice. Now my plan is to cut it in half and then cut half the skin off that. I'm then going to take a bite and put it in resin. And then towards the end of this video, we're going to take a look at it 6 months later. And hopefully we can see some changes. Now before I start cutting up the orange, the first thing I need to do is pour myself a little base layer. That way we have something for the orange to sit on. So now that the base is all cured, we can start prepping the orange. I guess it's now time for me to take a bite. It's nice and juicy. Well, I think that should do it. Hopefully we get some bacteria to grow. So it's now time to glue down the orange. And I think to give this experiment the best chance, I'm going to try and pat down all the excess juice. In the past, when I've glued my food down, I've just used some UV resin and I've cured it using this UV light. Now I've seen a lot of comments lately that might be suggesting that the UV light is sterilizing the food, preventing anything from growing. So for this one, I'm going to glue it down with some 5-minute epoxy. Now that the orange is glued down, we can start mixing our epoxy. I guess all that's left now is to put this in the pressure pot and watch it on pot cam. While that's in the pot curing, I want to show you what else I'm working on. I'll be doing an episode using this whole apple, and I'll also be taking a bite out of the side, so it's going to be really interesting to see what this one looks like in 6 months. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, because you won't want to miss this video. Well, that's not good. Well, as you can see, the 5-minute epoxy let go and the orange floated to the top. Now I've had a close look and all the important parts are covered. The only bit exposed is a little bit of skin on top there. But I think just to be safe, I'm going to mix up some more epoxy and pour it over the top. Now apart from the orange coming loose, we didn't have any other dramas. I can't see anywhere that any juice escaped, and I think it turned out really good. So I'm just going to pour some resin over the top now, and then we can take a really close look at it. That way we have something to compare it to in 6 months' time. So the extra bit of resin on top's all nice and cured, but look at what I found when I pulled it out of the pot. Can you see that? When the orange drifted to the side, it exposed itself on this edge, and now all the juices are coming out. I don't think we can use this blank now. I guess I'll just take it out and we'll have a look. Yeah, it's fully broken through the side. So you can see the little slit there where it's come out. Now I don't think it's too bad. I think I might be able to seal this up with some UV resin and we might be okay to continue on. I am kind of glad we did that little repair, because now it gives us something else to keep an eye on. So now that it's all sealed up, it's time to take a close look so we have something to compare it to in 6 months' time. Now there is one thing I've already noticed. It looks like we do have something starting to grow on the bottom here. So now that we've had a good look at it, all we need to do is wait 6 months and see if it changes. Well, it's now the moment we've all been waiting for, but before we see it, I want to show you the other half of the orange. This is what an orange looks like when it's been in your workshop for 6 months. It looks pretty bad. Check out all the mold growing on it. So now that we know what an orange looks like that's been left to the elements, let's see one that's been encased in resin. I got to admit, I'm really surprised as to how well this works. Considering this is what one looks like that's been left to the elements, I think this one looks pretty good. I'm also surprised that where I took the bite out, there's no cultures growing. Now in a million years time, if there's no orange trees left, hopefully an archaeologist can dig this one up and start growing them again. Well, that's it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you want to see more food in resin videos, I've got the 6-month apple sitting here, which I'll be showing you guys in an upcoming episode. So if you want to see that one, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.